and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against.
Wow.
Epstein Island isn't the only island out there.
Some things, once heard, can never be unheard. Jim Caviezel has spent years trying to tell you something. He's been called a conspiracy theorist. He's been blacklisted. He's even been mocked by late-night hosts who should have been listening instead of laughing. His film Sound of Freedom exposed the reality of child trafficking, but it was buried by the industry and dismissed by the very people who claim to care about children. But Caviezel didn't stop. He kept speaking. And now he's revealing something even darker.
패션 오브 크라이스트에서 예수를 연기한 할리우드 배우 짐 캐비젤. 그는 정점의 커리어를 버리고 아무도 건드리지 않는 이야기를 꺼냈습니다. 그리고 즉시 블랙리스트에 올랐습니다.
Jim Caviezel was at the peak of his career. He had everything Hollywood could offer: fame, money, prestige. He could have stayed comfortable, and just like many others, he could have kept his mouth shut and collected his checks. Instead, he walked away. He made Sound of Freedom, a film based on the true story of Tim Ballard, a former government agent who risked everything to rescue children from networks in Latin America and beyond. During filming in Colombia, Caviezel and his crew witnessed something no actor should ever see.
그가 현장에서 목격한 것들은 영화 속 이야기가 아니었다고 합니다. 완성된 영화를 들고 할리우드로 돌아온 그를 기다린 건 축하가 아니라 침묵이었습니다.
The entire media is smearing this movie as a dangerous conspiracy theory. The press is saying that the star, Jim Caviezel, is a QAnon guy. And Jim plays Tim Ballard, which is strange because just a few years ago, the same media was celebrating Tim Ballard's heroics. So why is the media warning people not to see a movie about child that's based on a true story?
Major studios and networks were under pressure from powerful figures to boycott the movie. They were warned not to touch that film or their careers would be over.
I was not emotionally prepared for the new film.
왜 언론은 아이들을 고하는 이야기를 이토록 막으려 했을까요? 그리고 바로 그 시점, 앱스타인 문서가 공개됩니다.
Up until 5 seconds ago, which was the fact that a little guy named Jeffrey Epstein had a little island where the most powerful people, the tippity top of government officials, celebrity, Hollywood, would go.
Now, why would an industry bury a film about saving children? Why would powerful people work so hard to silence a story that should have been celebrated? Then, the Epstein documents were unsealed.
문서가 공개되자 사람들이 주목한 이름이 있었습니다. 앨런 드제너러스입니다.
Her name appeared repeatedly on the list, and not just in passing either, but in context that made people stop and ask, what did she know? Ellen DeGeneres' name appeared in the files in a 2014 email about meeting schedules. Nothing incriminating as such, but for those who had been following Jim Caviezel's warnings, it was enough to wonder how she fit into Epstein's world. Caviezel claims he reached out to her directly and begged her to use her platform to speak out about the children on Epstein Island, but she never did.
캐비젤은 이런 인물들을 게이트키퍼라고 부릅니다. 자신의 영향력과 플랫폼으로 시스템을 유지시키는 사람들이라는 겁니다.
Caviezel has used a specific word to describe figures like Oprah, gatekeepers, people who lend their influence, their credibility, their platforms to systems that exploit the vulnerable, whether they know it or not. None of this is proof of wrongdoing. Ellen has not been charged. Oprah has not been accused of crimes, but the connections exist, the questions remain, and the silence from the most powerful voices in media speaks louder than any denial.
그리고 2019년 8월 앱스타인은 연방교도소에서 사망합니다. 공식 발표는 자살. 하지만 그날 밤 CCTV는 작동하지 않았습니다.
Jeffrey Epstein died in federal custody in August 2019. The official ruling was suicide, but for millions of people, that word has never sat right. The cameras conveniently malfunctioned that night, and the guards who were supposed to watch him also slept through the whole thing. Not only that, the investigation was rushed. The surveillance footage that should have shown everything was conveniently unavailable. And with Epstein's death, the public lost the chance to hear directly from the man at the center of it all. Since then, documents have trickled out, names have appeared, but the full truth, the complete picture of who knew what, who went where, who participated, remains buried under layers of legal secrecy and media silence. Every release is redacted.
캐비젤은 말합니다. 반드시 심판의 날이 온다고. 그 말이 맞을까요? 아니면 이번에도 묻힐까요?
Behind the names and the redacted documents, there is a reality too many people want to ignore. Over 300,000 children under 18 have been in the United States alone. That's not a statistic, that's a stadium full of children. Approximately 85,000 children who crossed the southern border have disappeared without a trace. Just gone, vanished into a system that was supposed to protect them, despite the risks, despite the threats. Despite watching others fall silent, whistleblowers continue to come forward. They speak at great personal cost, knowing that others before them have faced consequences they couldn't escape. They speak because the alternative, saying nothing, is worse. Anne Heche is also gone. She died in a car crash in 2022 under circumstances that for many have never been fully explained. Those close to her believe she knew things, had seen things, was preparing to speak about things, and then suddenly she wasn't there anymore. Epstein is gone too, and with him, the full extent of what he knew died as well. Conveniently, completely, permanently. The secrecy continues, the protection of elites continues. The system that allowed Epstein to operate for decades continues to function exactly as it was designed, but the children are still waiting. The survivors are still speaking. The truth is still trying to break through. Jim Caviezel says a reckoning is coming, that there will be an event, a moment when the walls fall and the truth can no longer be contained. He points to whistleblowers, to sealed documents about to be released, to a shift he feels happening beneath the surface. Is he right? Or is this just another story that will be buried, another set of names that will stay redacted, another round of promises that accountability is just around the corner? The island is still there, the files are still sealed, the powerful are still protected, but the questions still remain.